Alright, we're going to try this video one more time. So my kids are all napping, all three of them. I thought I would make this video because we get asked all the time, how do we travel through the airport? What are the best things to bring? And, how do we get through a flight? And we have a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 1-year-old that will be traveling with us this year. We go travel every year to Arizona, so it's from Indiana, so it's about a 3.5-hour, 4-hour flight that we have to entertain them for. And this year, our 2 and our 4-year-old will be in their own seat, and our 1-year-old will be our lap child. I don't do this trip alone. I do this with my husband. So there are 2 adults, but this is how we keep the sanity. First thing I'll share with you is we are not above screen time. All 3 of them do have a Amazon free time that they got for Christmas. I love these better than a lot of iPads. You can download whatever apps you want to it, but you have full control. So I have time limits set on this for when they can use it, when it turns on, and then they don't have access to like YouTube or anything like that, like they do with like iPads and stuff. And it has great battery life. It's really good durability. Like my 1-year-old hasn't even managed to chew this yet, so these are great. So these will go in their backpacks. I got from Costco, we buy the pull-ups for my 4-year-old, and these backpacks came free in the pull-up boxes. So I'm just using that. Each of them will have a backpack. We're flying Southwest, which means each of them get a carry-on plus an additional bag, as well as 2 checked bags for every ticket we have. We're not going to bring that many bags, obviously. We're trying to contain it to 2 checked bags total, but we have that option having flown Southwest, which is great. So anyway, so I said they'll have their iPads in their bag, and then I'll just kind of go through what else I threw in there. These are just cheap things I found at either Target or the dollar store that make a world of difference getting through the flight. So they each will have a backpack with all this stuff in it. First thing I found was this foamy putty, which is great because unlike Play-Doh or kinetic sand, this really stays together really well. Doesn't really have a smell, and it doesn't leave a huge mess at all. And then these came with these little toys with them, so you can actually make your own monster. And I got one for each of my 4-year-old and my 2-year-old. So that's great. Can't recommend these enough. We have never flown without these. These are window cleans, and I just found these at Target. So they have a different one for each girl. Super easy because they not only clean to the window, but they also clean to the seat in front of them, which means they could use them whether they're on a window seat or not. And these are great entertainment. I don't recommend them when you have this guy, because if you try and use them in the house, they definitely get super dirty really fast. But for the airplane, to and from flights, I use these when I stand them when we're done. The other thing I like are these magic marker books. Super cheap, again at Target. We also like the watercolor books, so you just use the water and it changes it, but it's actually a pain on the flight because they have to keep it full, and the water is kind of just one more thing for them to dump out, one more thing for them to just make a mess with. But these I like because it's 1 marker per kid. You don't have a bunch of markers everywhere, which is anything that has a bunch of pieces, a bunch of markers on the airplane is not going to be good because it's just going to fall between the seats and whatever, you're just going to lose them. So I got one of these for each girl, and even my 1-year-old will do this, will sit and just color. So super easy, super small in their backpack. The other thing I found, my kids love stickers. Anytime I can find an activity that the stickers are contained somewhere, they're not just free-flowing stickers, is great. These actually will turn into bracelets, so it's just perfect. I love Melissa and Doug, anything. So I got 2 of those, one for my 2 and my 4-year-old. Again, along with stickers, I found these little scenes, a barn one and a princess one, so they can do that. Again, it's stickers that are contained, which is my favorite thing. So that's that. And then I also found at Target these hearts, getting ready for Valentine's Day. They can do sewing on. I don't know if my 2-year-old necessarily does, but I know my 4-year-old will. And you can't buy one without, getting the other. So that's that, and I know that will be fun. And then I just packed a bunch of snacks that we don't normally allow them to have, so it's kind of a treat. When you're flying, I don't really expect them, at least when we're flying, I don't know about your kids, but when we're flying, we don't really expect to be able to sit down and have a full meal or even a nutritious meal. So we really just live off of snacks to get through the day. So I found their Pringles chips. They love these. I love that they're in little packets. They won't get squished. We don't usually allow them to have chips, so that's definitely a treat. My kids love frozen. I found a box of these graham cracker snacks. Again, just super easy for them to pull out and eat. I know there are better bars than this, but it's, you know, in survival mode on the airplane, it's what your kids will eat, and I know they'll eat these chewy bars. As opposed to like a Kind bar or anything like that, they just don't like them. So these are what we go with. They don't get these except when we're traveling, so they know that that's a treat. My kids also love raisins, all my kids. And these have the yogurt drops. Anything I can buy that has yogurt added to it, I love, because it just increases the calories. And we have picky eaters, and we have kids that don't eat. And anything I can do to increase calories is a blessing. So that's all going to go in their backpacks. They're each going to, you know, have to be responsible for carrying that. Even my 1-year-old will actually carry it, which is great. The other thing we do is we bring their diaper bag. I keep additional snacks, refills in here. I'll keep their goldfish in here. Each kid gets a water bottle. And what's great about bringing a water bottle is we dump it out right before security. And on the flight, we just ask the flight attendant when they come around for drinks to refill out the water bottles. And they do. And it's so much better than having to buy a water bottle in flight or buy a water bottle at the gate. And that's just free. That's great. So that's what's great about flying Southwest. The other thing I do for my 2 and my 1-year-old is I pack a bunch of extra diapers, obviously, and then I put a Ziploc baggie in here with 2 or 3 wipes that I just put inside the Ziploc. And then that's in this diaper. And then when you go to the changing table, which is very small in the bathroom, like you can't bring this whole bag. You and the baby won't fit, especially if you have a big 2-year-old like I do. So I bring this with the Ziploc baggie and the wipes, and then I grab some baby powder, and I have a receiving blanket just to lay down on the table for them. I don't even bother bringing my changing mat because, again, it just doesn't fit. And then what's great about the Ziploc baggie is when you're all done, you have a spot to put the diapers, and the flight attendants will thank you. They really appreciate when, even if it's pee diaper, that we have that. So that's it. I have, again, all their snacks, and I get possibly additional toys just in here. That goes on the plane with us, as well as their baggies and as well as their iPads. And that's it. That's how we travel every year. This year, we're actually not bringing our stroller, which I know we're probably crazy for, but we're going to try it. Last year, we brought the stroller, and we rented car seats when we got there. The problem we ended up having with that was the car seats that they rented us, I wasn't comfortable using, and this was budget, so it's probably half our problem. We're going to do Enterprise this year. But I wasn't comfortable using it. And then they also didn't have, we rented ahead of time, and they also didn't have an infant car seat for my 4-month-old. They tried to rent us a normal car seat that wasn't infant, and telling me they could put blankets in it to make it safe and stuff. And so it was a mess. So this year we said, no, we're not going to bring our stroller. We're going to bring our own car seats. We're traveling all 3 car seats through the airport. And the way we're going to do that is we got a cart for each of them. We have Britax car seats, so we actually got the Britax carriers. Those will stay with the car seats attached until we get to the gate, and we'll literally go through the airport with those. And it's great because we can put the kids in the car seat while we're pulling the cart. And then our 1-year-old still travels in a carry backpack, which is great. So she'll travel in that, which means we'll have one of the car seats available for like the diaper bag or just coats, whatever. And then the other 2 can just go in the car seat when we need them to, and it's just like we had a stroller. We didn't find that when we got to our destination, we used the stroller a lot. Like, it was just in and out, and all my kids are walking, so it just doesn't make sense. They'd rather walk anyway. So that's what we're doing this year with the car seats, and that's how we get through the airport. Couple tips if, like last year I was breastfeeding, so I did bring my Haka and my pump. I did carry that out as a carry-on because I always think, like, if we get separated from our bags, like, what do we need that night? What are we going to need right away that we can't either replace or that we can't get right away? So that includes, like, I'll pack their bedtime stuff. Like, they have a bedtime blanket and a bedtime bunny. And that'll go on carry-on with us as well. Again, like, we can't replace that. That gets lost. They're not going to sleep. And then the other thing I did last year was I brought breast milk with that I had pumped. And Southwest or any airline allows you to bring as much as you need for your infant. So for us, we just brought all we had, and I deep froze it in the freezer, and then I traveled with dry ice, and that was a carry-on as well. And it worked really well. Kept the ice cold, or kept the milk cold. It didn't defrost at all. And then I also brought bottles of milk with us in the bag, and that's not limited by the 4-ounce rule. You can bring as much as you feel your infant needs. You will be tested through security. They'll do a hand test, but you're not required to have them test your milk, so don't even be bullied into getting it open. None of that. You don't have to open it. They don't have to. That's illegal. It's your breast milk. Also, a little tip for those of you that are kind of both formula or use cow's milk, you kind of go back and forth like we do. Who's to say the bottle of, you can't technically travel with cow's milk, but who's to say the bottle of milk you have is cow's milk? You just say it's breast milk. So that's my other tip. And that's how we do it. So if you have any questions, I hope this video is helpful to someone, because we're going to be flying out of here on Saturday. And so I just got all this ready and all this together, and I was like, I should put this on a video because everybody's always asking us. And that's how we do it. So if you have any questions, message me, and thanks for watching.